Boom. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are and wherever you may be. I am Samuel Davis III, the host of Uplift Our Community, powered by Bridge Visions. Man, let me tell you, my spirit is flying high right now. One of the things I'm feeling good about is because we got some people here. We're going to talk about frequencies and harmonies and things that bring about these good feelings. And whether it's dark on the inside of your home or in your heart, these are things that we're going to talk about today. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody does. I got an iPhone. And if you don't have certain crystals or minerals or whatever in it, that iPhone is not going to work. You're not going to get your GPS signals. You're not going to get certain things. This is what frequencies are all about. They are all around us. We don't talk about them because all we're used to is consuming sounds via radio or a headset's jammed into you. But there are sounds that heal your body. There are sounds that heal your spirit. There are sounds that get in your thought process and get you going. And I know this to be true for myself. I say this because frequency, I got my stuff here. I've carried this with me, a friend of mine made. I've carried this with all several different crystals inside of this all around the world with me. I set my things up to clear my crystals up at night and daytime. When I go out at night, I have necklaces, I have jewelry, I have things that I wear that make me tune into those positive frequencies. The people that I have with me, they have a lot more experience in these things than I do. These are some of my guys in the group here that I'm going to bring in now. We're going to talk about things. We've talked about it before, but we're going to talk about it a little more in depth. Today is a day of happiness right now. And like I said, it's dark in my room, but I'm happy to have you all here. We have a guy coming up in a couple of weeks, B Farai, that you introduced me to. And he is actually right now in the works of designing my jewelry crystal necklace. I mean, this thing is a bomb. It's going to be coming up real soon, and we're talking about frequencies today. So I want to kind of jump back with where we have been at before with each and every one of you, and in particular with you, Raul, because you got some great news going. What kind of got my spirit going? We started talking earlier, and you said some stuff that really just kind of got me like really, really energized up right now. Some good energies coming from you. So we don't necessarily want to talk about what it is that you want to, unless what you got going on in your world. But we want to talk about what frequencies have done to bring positivity to who you are, what you do, and going on in your life right now. Feel free.
Right. Glad to be back. This is the gang and talking about frequencies. We had a little bit of a talk last week about it, and now we're going in depth, like you said. And frequencies aren't they're not paid attention to, like you've said. We kind of like just let it go and we just know they're out there. But what is the harm and the benefit in a frequency is important. We gotta know where we're applying ourselves, spaces we're in. These things are very important because I don't want to go to a space where it's just negative vibes and hoping that I can go in there and change it with my positive vibration, because sometimes that doesn't work. We could say that we're really in tune with the earth or we're really in tune spiritually, but we can be overcome by negative frequencies. And when we think about the 440 frequency, it's a standard tuning now. It's a hertz frequencies. We're talking about the vibrations within a second. You got like 963, and we're talking about how many times that wave bounces a second. And that's a high number. And then we have these low frequencies that are like at 7.83. These are earth frequencies. But even though they're low, there's still harmony in them. It's just how our body applies it and is in tune with it. So speaking about the 440 natural tuning, I mean, that's not a natural tuning, it's a standard tuning. The natural tuning of all instruments before 1939 was the 432. Okay.
Mm.
432. Remember this. I'm talking about classical orchestras. Everything that you knew before 1939 was done in this certain kind of frequency, and it was harmonious. People knew that this was from a classic age. You come into the new age after the 50s, 60s, and stuff, things kind of change a little bit. And now it's all over the place.
Mm.
Now, today, we don't know what a frequency is, but we can't stay in tune with things before 1939. We know that sound. Our body kind of feels that sound. We have different frequencies of 528. That's a calm and healing frequency. People
So,
don't
so
even know.
let me jump in here because Raul, I know you can talk all day about frequencies. You went back to 1939 and all this. I was expecting the brother to do nothing like that. But my question is this: you're talking about all these different frequencies. How did they get them back in the day? What did they use to get these in 19 back way back then? They use. I mean,
Well, before that, they had bells, church
oh,
bells, toll
okay,
bells. Bells
okay.
had a lot to do with how they carried frequencies over land. As
Oh,
far as your ear can hear, I'm
wow,
telling you, a bell
crazy.
can ring pretty far.
Wow.
As soon as we got into the radio age, we were able to alter the frequencies.
Mm,
We're talking about war times, and
yeah,
this
okay.
is when the change happened. Is to distort the body. Was the idea of changing frequencies, changing panic, giving distortion was happening right around that 1940 era.
Mm. Let me jump in, Ben. Mm,
Mhm,
mm,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
mm, mhm, mm. Yeah.
There you go.
Mm, mm.
I can dig it. Mhm.
Mm, mm, mm. Conscious. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. Yes.
Well, since you're talking about math and science and putting in work in the classroom, we got an inventor here who happens to be a teacher and who happens to know about frequency. If he can sit back there and add on to what we've been talking about right here. Now, Jerome, you've got a lot of experience creating and doing all kinds of things. Raul and Benji just threw out some frequencies and some numbers and all kinds of stuff. Have they ever been things that you had to work with before? Frequencies, numbers, things like that. Hit me up. Talk to me.
Well, kind of on the school of thinking with Benji, I noticed at a young age, it was something about the harmonics and the singing in the human voice. So, if you ever heard like throat singing, it would be one of those things where I didn't know what was going on, but it resonated with my spirit. It made me feel connected to something primordial, something outside of myself. I love the haka. You see when Maori tribes will have you, and you feel the spirit and you feel the energy, and it can get so just just full of energy, spiritual charge from something like that. And it even goes back to the Lady Blacksmith Mambozo. And it's the harmonics. It was something that transcended the words for me. It was the way the rhythm made that, just like when you say you get goosebumps, I felt those kind of reactions from those sounds, those frequencies that made something in my spirit feel happiness, feel joy, feel peace. And it really, I think, on the most simplistic level, it allowed me to feel connected to something greater than what I could see with my eyes. So how you want to classify that is fine. But that was, and I grew up in a Pentecostal church, and you see people, you catch the Holy Ghost and so on. It's something about the spirit in the moment, that time is just overwhelming for that person. Those are the closest things that I could come akin to feeling that Holy Spirit, quote unquote, is when those feelings, when you see the haka, when you hear Ladies Blacksmith Mambozo, you when you feel the continuation, the continuum of the human spirit being expressed at that frequency of our existence. So that allows me to feel connected to a great source. Yeah.
That's what's up,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
Very
exactly how
true.
you describe it. Exactly, because that's allow us to connect us to divinity, right? The
Mhm.
one piece that allow us, that's like the bridge to, especially for me specifically, that certain harmonic will connect me right to the universe. Like, okay, this is what I'm here to do. This is what my purpose is, and this is why I'm protected and loved and things like that. But you're correct. That's how you should describe it. So that's why I've always revere musician, right? Because when they hit a certain note, I'm like, okay, that's divinity. That is like God saying something to me. Those are things. And then the humanity, we don't use that in the right way. The people that use that to create hate, those things, that rhythm, to create hate and all that, that's
Mhm.
something that's also pretty, you can use it both ways. You can use it for the good. So I will do anything to support people that want this to do in the right way. It doesn't matter what genre of music it is, as long as create positive love.
Well, Benji, honestly, and that connects to some things, some previous conversations. Um, I remember I have a charity. We help feed people in food deserts. Shout out All Hands on Deck, St. Louis. Uh, and I remember laughing one day when one of the volunteers said how she talked to her plants.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
And I'm just, we have fun. We're a silly group.
right.
And I I had about 8 other people in that area, and I admire their green thumb. And they all said they talk to their plants.
Yeah.
So what on that primal level, that the simplistic wave on how the universe transcends information and feeling and thought,
Yeah.
that there you're connecting outside of yourself to another living being, and it
Yeah.
fills you, and you feel something back from that. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
So my plants were dying. I'm having conversations with them every day now. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also talked to my plant too, and they are blowing me
I see.
crazy, right?
I
And this
gotcha.
sometime because I travel a lot and things like that.
Mhm.
So I had this one plant that saved from all my marriage and stuff. And because I left with my ex, it was devastated last year, and it was
Mhm.
almost died. So I brought it back here to my cabin. I'm like, I talked to it, but the thing what really, really hits it, I play classical music with it,
Ah,
and that really helps.
Listen, I know Raul's been sitting there
Yeah,
chomping at
go
the
for it.
bit because this brother's got music flowing
Good.
through him right now. So please, Raul, talk to us about what these gentlemen just got through talking about. I love the spirit that is talking about that these guys are doing right now. I told you before we got started, this room might be dark, but my spirit is
That's
flying
it.
high today, right now. And
That's
this is
it.
what I want to hear from you. Talk to me.
That's perfect, man, because we can know about all of the science, about the God frequency, earth frequencies. We know that there's grounding, everything that we touch in the natural world, for sure. But it's our spirit. It's the way we exercise our words. It's the way
Mhm.
we hold inside. And that's very important. Once we find that voice inside of us, a laughter has a frequency. And you know, a laughter can actually trigger, it's contagious. A smile is contagious. So even with the look of something, it has a frequency. We
Mhm.
can use all of these curse words and violent words, and that has a frequency, that negative, but we're all in here to exercise, good tone, words of the spirit, fruits of the spirit. We want to like get familiarized with those words that have love. I mean, we've seen those experiments where you speak into a bowl with sand and it comes hate, anger, and it distorts. But you say words like love and kindness and I care, those have frequencies. So the spirit overpowers the scientific reality.
Yes, yes, I'm with you. You were saying something earlier, and I was kind of curious about it. But when I'm doing problem solving, if I'm doing problem solving, I'll listen to classical music. Okay,
Mhm,
so it puts my brain in a great state.
mhm.
When I'm looking at some promotional ideas or something that I'm supposed to get that excitement dealing with the public or what have you, I might be hip hop. And as much as I want to say that I get a chance to affect the music, I have to be honest. The music is actually affecting me. It reflects what's going on inside me.
Facts.
For better or for worse, I have to deal with that in order to get to a certain place.
Yes.
And you mentioned God frequency. Could you please, like, I've heard that before. Could you enlighten me more about that, please?
963, it's related to the God frequency, meditation. When you're in these meditation rooms, or we want to put on this hum vibration, and normally it comes to a 963. It's the standard idea of in tuning with nature and stuff like that, along with what Benji tunes in with the 528. So this has reconstructive healing powers. It has intuitive mind chemistry when you have these
Mhm.
frequencies. So you're not going to get them necessarily from the negative tone. So it's not of a positive. So working a spiritual relationship is going to
Okay.
help tune your frequency with our higher power, with God,
Okay.
obviously.
Okay.
You just had a break in there, but I just want to add, since he just got this brief moment, I was
Sure.
just going to ask, what about it? Does intention play with this as well too? Because you said
Definitely.
spiritual, so does intention have a big part to do with this? I can hear tone, but if my intention or if my spirit is not ready to receive it, does that have a play with
Facts.
that as well too?
You carry a cloud with you. We carry this frequency that just because we're not listening to a certain song, or we have an energy that is blocking us from the sunlight of the spirit. We're having things that we can't be attractive, or somebody's not wanting to be in our space. They're having a negative frequency. Some don't know it and they just live like this because it's just natural to be secluded, to be isolated. That's their way of living and they're comfortable with it. Do they know that it's a God frequency? Is it a negative frequency? It's just not allowing them to be harmonious with community. And that's
Mm,
what a frequency is intended for, is to be in
mm.
tune with what is reality and what is of a good nature, what we are created to be.
I'm gonna bug you all day. I'm gonna follow you on social media, whatever you got. I just found my new church. Thank you. All right. Is there a place where frequency overlaps or connects to community?
Yes. Yes. Okay. For instance, we see those that are living in high cities, busy, busted cities with trains running and skyscrapers. How are you going to adopt a natural healing in an environment that has chaos? But it's done, it's able to. And it starts with having your intention, like Sam was saying, like
Oh,
you have an intention of wanting, of looking for. So now you're perceiving, you having actually attraction, the willingness to go. And frequency will meet you halfway. It will. When you hear that song, I'm giving you guys real facts here. In a time of brokenness, you guys can go to a song and it'll make you cry. Now, where did this come from? It's because our body is longing to wanting to be attracted to something that is harmonious and resilient and getting us out of a heartbreak or something. That right there is a chemistry in us that we're allowing, just to allow our body just to do that healing on its own. We don't know where it comes from, but like Sam was saying, you know, going into a gardening space, you guys talk to your plants. I have a garden that's here in a concrete jungle. And believe it or not, I actually was willing to give my plants a better home because I wasn't able to do it. But they met me halfway and they started blooming flowers the following day because I had that much love for them. Because I had told them, I bless my plants, I feed them, and I talk with them. And I said, I want to give you guys some homes and stuff like that. Now, we can all think of the superficial, and it's just, hey, we're just shooting this stuff with these plants. It's not, but really, like you say, anything that has life has a frequency that you want to adapt with, that you want to come in contact with. The ocean, touching the tree huggers. I'm a tree hugger. I love trees. The roots that are settled in earthing. We're talking about the earth frequency at 7.8083. I'm reading notes. I don't have these all in my head. I just wanted to be prepared because these are things that I had to bring for facts to show that our earthing frequency is a heartbeat, the tune into the earth. You have all of these things. So just being willing to take your shoes off, settle them into the mud, and you feel that the microbulbs just feeding your body and you want it. So it's not that you're allowing it, you're really kind of making a connection and you're putting your forth into it, and the frequency is going to receive you back. Praise God. Praise God. Here we go.
Wow. Mind blown. Mind
boy.
Wow.
Raul,
I'll tie it all in together with this right here. When you think about heaven and earth, they are in compared. When you hear about heaven, it's so done on earth. You're always going to hear heaven and earth always being the same sentence or relating something. Why is heaven always connecting with earth? It's because there is such a power there in this creation of earth connected to heaven that it's showing that there's an in tune there, that there's tuning that is in a frequency that is a relationship with a spiritual force, with God's creation. And that's how I get in tune with being in an open vibe, open field, and receiving the green, the colors, the smell. All of this is coming into my body because I'm taking this as a heaven creation. That's where I'm relating how powerful a frequency on earth is.
Wow. I think Benji said it earlier. He said about a connection to divinity. That about just about as strong as you can put it. A connection to divinity. This frequency, my goodness, we're only 28 minutes in, but man, I'm telling you, my spirit is flying high today. And you guys have definitely helped me get to this point right now because there's a certain thing with what we're bringing up right now. We're talking at a certain pitch, at a certain tone, at a certain level with each other. That's what's kind of rising it up right now. And it's actually amazing to sit here. I felt as energized on a show as I have today right now because of the fact that we're actually talking about it. Now, I can have my spirit riding high anywhere, but it hasn't translated through like it has today because we're speaking on it. And Jerome, when I brought up you talking about those frequencies, I was expecting you to go there with the frequencies the way that you did and how you were it brought back your youth and where you initially got those feelings at. Those are amazing to be able to sit back there because a lot of people, and I'm going to throw this prison story into you guys again. I'm going to tell you, a lot of guys that come into prison, they don't have structure.
No.
That structure is their frequency for me. When I get them in underneath me, they haven't had structure. This guy's been running wild like the wolves up until you get him in a prison and he get to slow him down inside a cell and he's locked up and he's got this mind. He's like, because I would witness this guy after guy. They come in there angry because they're so pissed off they got caught. But after a while, they mellowed out and I request them, hey, why don't you go sign up for ESL? Why don't you go take education class? He might be pissed off when he's saying it, but he's slowed down enough to where he can say, you know what, maybe I'll give it a shot. All right. Now, sometimes I might tell you to a guy and he'll sit back there and flip me off and say, hey, man, get out of my face, man. Who the hell you think you are? It happens. But I keep shining that light because there are those people who are ready to receive that light. They're ready to get that connection to divinity. And sometimes it starts with structure. Once you
Yeah.
get that structure, then all of a sudden things start slowing down a little bit. Now I listen to the radio a little bit different now than I did. And I hear that song, and as Raul brought up, it might bring tears to my eyes and make me even get to a different level. But you know what? I'm constantly pushing forward. So this is one of those things I had to throw that little prison thing that brought me to how I remember structuring guys and telling them, you know, they're coming in wild. But
Yeah.
after a while, you know, these guys, they mellow out a little bit. You start getting into classes, you start getting them into group therapy sessions, you start seeing how they interact with other people, and things change. Slowly but surely, things change. And, you know, you can say there's some bad things going on in prison, but there's some good things going on in there too, because I've witnessed them and I've been a part of it. So these frequencies, you got to shine the light wherever you go. And Raul, from the very first moment we started talking this morning, you talked about what you have came into today with this gig that you got. Dude, that just lifted me up because this is what we're here to talk about, what's going on in our communities and how we're protecting that music that you're doing. I guarantee there's going to be some predicting high success with what you're doing, bruh, because from the moment I've met you, you have been on this trajectory that I felt a frequency coming from you. Every time I seen this brother, there's something going on with this dude, man. What is going on? He is vibing high. Hey, bro. And I'm proud to say that I've met you, and I'm proud to have you here as part of this group right now. But I want you to go ahead and add on to this, Jerome, or anybody else jump in.
Well, there was something that between Benji and Raul and yourself, Venn diagram, it seems like a great overlap. But, and I know there are going to be some more, maybe some more people that are more spiritually, quote unquote, in tune that may disagree. But I feel that the rigidity of the word frequency should not exclude in the quality of what we're talking about in communication with oneself and what they do with the universe. Okay. They're like, even when you're speaking of people being in prison or have you, and hopefully a chance to rehabilitate, they are being taken out of a toxic dynamic environment, get off of that treadmill going nowhere to a place, hopefully, where they're secluded, where they can actually start hearing what's going on in their mind instead of being just taking orders from their toxic environments. And they can start the beginning that process of connecting to a better part of themselves. Okay. I feel that even with micro actions, I've been working I had an accident, car accident. I'm working on getting back in shape because I had to be so sedentary for a bit. And part of what a therapist was telling me about the workout, micro actions. There are people, they go to the gym every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes they will just go to the gym and park in the parking lot and they not even go inside, but they have to keep doing that intention on that action. That is the frequency of intention of making sure or getting things done, because the last thing you want to do is break off from that, because then you just stop going to the gym altogether. Okay. That applies toward let's talk about talking to the plants. From my understanding, that they call it green therapy. You're communicating with the plant, and it's a living being, but you find yourself, it's a version of a prayer. It's a type of prayer. You're getting focused on your thoughts. You're putting positivity out there, and you're being mindful of how you project yourself to the people around you and the conditions around you. I believe that is a spiritual survival skill. I'm being accused of being an atheist more than once, and I'm not. I believe in higher power. And one of the perfect alignments that I see when it comes to, especially when we talk about prayer keeps you mindful of your intention and your wants of life. It can, if you have that arc of where you want to be, prayer takes you out of a place of where you are not just surviving. You are directing yourself toward a place. And that's where I get it when I connect with some of the spirituality music. If you want to see me get a little teary or what have you, I see those videos where I see the little baby boy learning his haka and everything. I'm just like, it's the continuum of the human spirit. We're all, every culture has some type of warrior energy. And it's just the way it manifests, there's a beauty in that, you know? And it's very important, especially I find myself in these trying times. I had a rough breakup, all these things going on, my career, production date stuff, get moved back, and it's just so much. And then I find myself listening to maybe some Chuck Berry, or maybe I listened to some Chaka Khan where she said, like, listen to a song called Love Me Still. And it amazed me, Raul and Benji and yourself, is like how that music can program you. But it's that vibration, it's a therapy as well. That it's that music therapy. It makes me confront my insecurities. It makes me confront my pain, not to make it worse, but to stop, to accept it, to begin the process of moving on. And that's a part of where I pray, because I feel that the universe, God, what have you, says, you know what? Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. And that helps me out a lot. Say that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. And that's the thing that I think more so for me, like praying and affirmation is the same, but if you combine that with the harmonic and the sound, it
Mhm.
just vibrates so much easier and quicker into the subconscious. And so that's why I so much love musician. And for me, it's always gonna be like when I'm in really funk mood, I will go to a live music to hear piano. That
Mhm.
right there will just reset me. So Raul,
Right.
man, I appreciate you being here because that right there, whatever the musician itself, I don't care where you are. I don't care you play it live. I don't care you play on the street. It vibrates the universe, right? It reset the universe, and then with the right affirmation of praying, it
Mhm.
makes it cements it into this world. And so this is the reason I say you can make that into a loving story, or you can make like Hitler did. You know, he did that thing with that music. It's the same thing. It's really tough because that rhythm. You know, it's that rhythm. Is that so? You know, I was raised Catholic as well as Buddhism. Catholic have that same rosary thing. That's that rhythm. And I'm sitting here listening to the rhythm, and I'm going to the Buddha. I'm like, they have the same rhythm. It's a different word. It's same rhythm. Yeah, it's so important. So I encourage everybody to use that for healing and growing. That's what I did, right? And people can use it for the opposite, but I choose the other way, and I appreciate that so much. I was lucky. I was blessed and lucky. I grew up in the temple, right? So I get all this stuff, right? And so it was kind of like for me, it was a blessing in disguise. So
Mhm.
that's great.
I want to take this moment because we just got to talking about this harmonics and these sounds and these frequencies. And I just want, Benji, if you can come out and play something right now, you can just get something. I don't know if you're a mood player. I don't know how you get it, but is there something harmonically that you could play right now that could encapsulate what we're feeling right now? Is there anything that you could do?
give me a second.
That was you, Raul. I was speaking about
Me?
you. Yeah, I was
Oh,
speaking on you. I was
This
speaking.
okay.
this is
No,
mine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was speaking. I was speaking. Yeah, I was speaking on live from Raul. I wanted Raul to play a little something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry
Okay.
about that, Benji.
So
No worry. I was like, you want me to like? I'm the one that can't play any music instrument, but I got my AI stuff though.
thinking of harmonics, here goes harmonic.
Mhm.
That's a harmonic kind of way we wanted it, you know,
Mhm.
a little muted and stuff. But yeah, that's a harmonic. And when we hear that harmonic, our body's kind of ready. Our body's willing to accept something at this point when you hear that. And so our body is like, it's like medication, food, anything. It's the way our ears don't, just because we hear it doesn't mean that it's not medicine. This is medicine. Here's medicine. Touching is medicine. So hearing something is also medicine. And the way our body can adjust is hearing something that our body wants. Thanks, Sam, for the shout out about me doing gigs. I get to play some Hawaiian music. That in itself is so healing for me and my vibration and what I want to bring to the table. This is something brand new. It's something that I've been working on for so long, because what my belief in mele song, that's in Hawaiian, mele, is it has this frequency of storytelling, of love, wanting for sovereignty. That's why I choose Hawaiian music a lot nowadays, because it's what I want to constantly exercise my mind, my spirit to adjust. But this is a 12 string. It might not be a ukulele, but a lot of my Hawaiian songs are on a 12 string, because a lot of Hawaiian old songs, they do a lot of, it has a 12 strings on it. But this is my first love. When I first picked up the guitar, it's the way I hold this chord to A. And that right there is always my go-to. So I get into my space. My body knows it, because I've been playing with this so long that that feels good to me. So the next time around, I'm looking for that again. And I want it to be stronger. And adding just a little bit more to it gives it a little bit more love. Might just be playing just one note, your body's already got a rhythm. I can play this soft and your body still has a rhythm. I can take you right back there. So this is just in 2 chords, maybe 3. Your body will adjust and then it'll take in the healing. Here goes a song that I wrote. It's called Death and Tombstone. I'll give you a few bars there. Sad. But out of that sadness, I breathe this. And now my body's just looking all over the guitar, trying to find something. And it's connecting. Everything is connecting. And I can stay here till I want to change it. So it just keeps going, and your body will adjust to your medication.
Oh my goodness, brother.
Where do I buy the soundtrack? I want it now.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. This is exactly what it's all about here, guys. This conversation, Raul, man. Thank you, bro. That right there, I feel your passion. I feel it in the chords. Thank you for walking us through that. This is what frequency is all about. I'm actually going to cut this short because I don't think we can top what you have just done right here. We have came to a point where, man, 45 minutes in, we have had church, y'all. We have literally had church. And you can take it how you want. I appreciate each and every one of you, your questions, your insights, and your comments. It doesn't get no better than this. Hopefully next time we can add this on, because we got another one coming in talking about frequencies pretty soon, especially after I finish with my necklace that he's going to be making for me. And I'm going to be rocking this out of here. Frequencies, y'all. Frequencies. I challenge each and every one of you from this point on, when we leave this thing, to ride that vibe right here and take it out in the streets wherever you go, and be sure that you carry that spirit with you strong, because you got it right here, right now. We just got energized. Take this out and put it out into your communities. With that being said, I want to close out. Make sure that you guys keep your sign up at www.upliftourcommunity.com. We have an app coming soon that's in beta, and we'll end it right here until the next one. Take care, y'all.
Hold on. If you bring it,